For early civilizations, human knowledge was once incredibly fragile. A single fire or flood at a local temple could erase decades of observation and philosophy in an afternoon, leaving nothing but dust. Even documents that survived remained geographically and linguistically isolated. Look at this papyrus showing a dense, continuous block of hieroglyphs. Without standardized formatting or an index, the ideas trapped inside were effectively unsearchable to anyone outside this specific priesthood. Then, a Macedonian king conquered the known world. Alexander the Great rapidly connected disparate civilizations from Greece to India, but his sudden death left a vacuum of organized thought where a global empire should have been. In Egypt, the new Ptolemaic dynasty recognized that long-term dominance required a monopoly on data. By controlling the world's information, they could exert authority over cultures far beyond the reach of their armies. They launched a mission to build an eternal vault in their capital of Alexandria. The goal was total centralization, acquiring exactly one copy of every single book ever written. This wasn't a quiet place for reflection. The library functioned as a state-funded intelligence operation, aggressively hunting for new data across the Mediterranean. The engine of this growth was the ships of the harbor policy. It transformed the city's docks into a mandatory intake point for the vault. Authorities boarded every vessel docking in Alexandria. They bypassed standard trade goods, focusing their searches on the personal scrolls and manuscripts tucked away in the crew's quarters. When they found a text, royal scribes would copy it immediately. The library kept the valuable original for the vault and handed the fresh copy back to the owner. Sustaining this level of hoarding required the total economic commitment of the Egyptian state, pouring the nation's wealth into a single building. This systematic seizure and cataloging of foreign texts was the ancient world's version of aggressive web scraping, designed to build a master database at any cost. But the acquisition machine was too successful. Finding one specific scroll among hundreds of thousands of unsorted texts became a mathematical impossibility. A scholar named Callimachus was tasked with solving this information bottleneck before the collection became useless. Callimachus invented the Pnyx, history's first library catalog. Thousands of scattered, unorganized scrolls pull into a strict, searchable grid. He introduced metadata, tagging texts with specific genres and author biographies, and organized them alphabetically, a concept essentially unknown before this moment. Once sorted, resident scholars processed the global collection into a single standardized language, Greek. The library's true achievement was this standardization. They didn't just store paper, they created the world's first unified, searchable database. Popular legend blames Julius Caesar for the vault's destruction. The story claims his troops started a fire during a siege that consumed the entire collection in a single night. Historical evidence contradicts this. We have records of scholars living and working at the library for centuries after Caesar left Egypt. This descending line graph shows the real culprit. Instead of a single blaze, the library suffered from centuries of gradual budget cuts, bureaucratic neglect, and shifting political priorities. Fire and war are constant threats to knowledge, but history shows that slow, systemic apathy is what actually erases a legacy. If physical scrolls turned to dust and the building collapsed, what makes this an eternal vault? While the physical paper was lost, the logic of universal, categorized knowledge survived. We can trace a direct path from Callimachus's Pnyx to modern public libraries, research universities, and ultimately the architecture of modern search engines. The drive to centralize and index the human experience has become a permanent feature of our civilization, manifesting today as the searchable, organized reality of the global internet.